Hi guys, it's Kaya Timmons, and today I'm going to show you how to make on Photoshop a watercolor painting effect on a photo and how you can make it look like this. Okay, so first you want to get a new page that you make. I already made mine. So you want to have a new layer and then go here and add a gradient. And also you want that white background behind it, but that already is kind of automatically made on there. Okay, so for color, you want a kind of tan color. This is meant to have it be like the canvas part, so you choose that, and you want it to be radial. And for scaling, you want it to be about 400%, so I'll just do that. Okay. So next you want to add your image, and here I have an image from Pexels, a place where you can get free images for use, and you want to adjust that so it fits your screen. I'm going to do about that. So then the cat kind of fits nicely on there. So then this next step is very important. You want to make it a smart object. This will be important later. So then you go to filter, and there's a lot of different stuff, but you use filter gallery first. There we go. And you're going to go to artistic and then do cutout, which it looks kind of weird. You can play with it however you like. You want it to have that watercolor effect, so this is meant to give off the shapes that watercolor has, kind of simple. Okay, and then you go on here and you want to make this, you can honestly choose, but for this one I think screen looks really nice, especially because that background is still like that. But okay, and we're gonna want to lessen this a bit, probably about there. Okay, so next we want to go to filter again, and we're going to go back to filter gallery, and this time we're going to do dry brush. And you can play with these however much you'd like. If you want more brush detail, I think I'll add more just for the sake of that really crispiness that watercolor has. I might play with this a little bit, just the texture. Okay, and then you adjust it on here. And for this one, we're going to do multiply, and I can move this so you can see it a little bit better. And we're going to move this down a bit. Usually for each of these, about 50% is what you want. However, some of them are different, so just play around with it. I think this looks good. Next, we're going to go to filter yet again, and we're going to do a blur this time. We're going to do a smart blur. And for this, we're going to adjust it how we like it so the background is a little bit blurrier. Okay? Okay. A little bit different. Then for this one, this honestly could use different ones. Like you could use soft light or you could use screen. I think I like the screen look better, so that's what I'm gonna do, but you honestly could go either route. Just depends on what image you use. I like that about there. Well, maybe I don't. There. That's good. Okay. So then after this, we'll go to filter again, and we're gonna do stylize, and we're gonna do find edges. Now, hear me out, trust the process. So we're gonna go to on here, and we're gonna make this multiply. So if you see like that, watercolor really has those crisp texturized edges. So this is just to adjust it just a little bit to make it, when you lower the opacity, it looks better, but those outlines that watercolor kind of has to make it really look texturized. I'm gonna just, let's do 48, let's try that. Okay, I'm liking that. So next we're going to want to make a layer mask, and then on the properties panel you want to invert it, And then for this tutorial, I downloaded some watercolor brushes and I will leave those in the description of the video. But you want to use them and you can play around with the size or shape of them. And for this, you just kind of bring it back in, press lightly for if you want light effects or dark if you want it to show up more. So for this, you just kind of have to play around with it and decide what you like best for it. So for this, you're going to want to mess with the spacing before it looks like this, but I think it looks better if you move it out. So just try that. And again, just play with what you like. Also keep in mind if you don't like the placement of your image, you can, because it is a smart object, move it after. So keep that in mind. I like where mine's placed, so I probably won't end up changing it, but there is always that option if you don't like how it is turning out. And then I want this to kind of rotate a bit. So just keep that brush panel next to you and just play with it. Like it, you can play with size or rotation of these dots. I like those. They look good to me. Okay, what am I feeling next? Oh, this one's kind of funky. To get that kind of interesting shape that watercolor has. Okay, we're gonna space this out. Make this smaller. Yes. I am liking how this is turning out. And um, there's also a lot of different brushes on this, so honestly, it's just up to how you decide to make it. But yeah, I don't like that actually. Mm. So this is what mine ended up looking like. I really like it so far. So to help fix the darkness or lightness of it, depending on what your image looks like, you're going to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and once it loads, it should bring you to this page where you can adjust the darkness and colors of it. I already have mine kind of preset to some, but you can choose however you'd like. I kind of want the exposure maybe up a little bit. I like high contrast because it gives it that watercolor vibe. You know, shadows. I want it to be a little darker. Blacks. I'd like that to stand out because I tested it out and when you do this, what it looks as intense on here when it ends up being done, it isn't quite as much as you'd probably like it to be, but maybe that's just me. I like some good clarity on there because it really gives it that watercolor texture. I don't know. I like it. You can really mess with all of these, but for now, I think this will work. See? Okay. And then you're going to go on here. And for this one, I don't really have a specific one I use. I just like to test out the different ones depending on which, and I think, or, ooh, I actually like lighten on this one probably best. I'll probably leave it that, and I might end up changing that with another one, but one thing I did add also to make it look more realistic is a paper texture on the back, and then for this you can have it do color over with the white, so then it kind of has that whitish color on top of the paper. And then if you choose, I duplicated the texture and put one on top. It's very minimal because 5% because like if you do too much, kind of actually, I kind of like that. It looks better than it did before. I'll make it a little less. See what I mean though? It just really makes it opaque, and I guess that works because watercolor is pretty opaque, but um, I think I really like how this turned out, but just because the brightness of the paper I feel like could be stronger. Again, this is just a personal thing, so don't feel like you have to do it, but you can always adjust the brightness of things. And oh, it's not really working. Okay, well, be like that. So overall, I think it's looking good, and if you were doing this step by step, I'm interested to see what you created. Thank you for watching. Bye.